Shalom, family. Shalom. Mic check. Do I sound like a robot, or is we, sounding crisp and clear? Let me get a 1 in the chat if we sounding crisp and clear. 2 in the chat if I sound like Kevin Gates. God, all praise to the Most High. First and foremost, I want to give Call Halal Abinau Yahweh Baha Shem Hamashiach Malak Yahweh Shai. This the brother Matati Abamba Nyamyan from the SICARRI Dallas Sect, coming at y'all with a quick little, a quick little lesson, right? Let's go ahead and get this screen share going, man. Let's get it going. All right, all praises. So what we're going into today is gonna be, going over the 2 greatest commandments, right? Y'all see the screen? Make sure. Yeah, there we go. Hold on. Let me do this. I don't want the screen all the way over there. Hold on. We got. Boom. We got to make sure y'all can see this, man. We can't have a little screen. We got to make sure that y'all can see these words. Here we go. All praise to the Most High. All right, but yeah, we're gonna go over the quote unquote 2 greatest commandments, right? I've seen a good couple of times where Christians say, well, see, these are the only commandments we gotta keep. We gotta love the Lord with all our heart, all our soul, and all our mind, and just love our neighbors as ourselves, right? But here's the thing. They don't know exactly what that means, right? So we gotta understand what it really means to love the Most High God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind, right? And what exactly that all entails, right? So let's go ahead and jump right into it. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22. Matthew chapter 22, and I'm gonna start at verse 34. We got to get that good old contents, right? Yeah, you right, Malak, you right. Every time, right? They say those are the only 2 commandments we got to keep, but they don't understand what that really means, right? And we won't get that good old, this Hebrew Israelite 101, right? 101. But let's get into it. Matthew 22 and verse 34. But when the Pharisees had heard he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. Basically, Hamashiach confounded them, and they stopped talking, right? Verse 35. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which is the greatest commandment in the law? I mean, hey, at least he's inquiring about the law, but we all know that he's on some sneaky stuff. He trying to trip, Yahweh Shai up, but it ain't gonna work, right? Verse 37. Yahweh Shai answered unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. So let's focus on this one right here, right? So, question for the chat. Non-SICARRI members, how do you love the Most High God with all your heart, all your mind, and all your soul? If anybody knows. I guess SICARRI is just the only ones in the building. By keeping the commands, 1 John. Okay. That's a good one. Right? Matter of fact, that's actually right on the list, right? 1 John chapter 5. I'm gonna start at verse 2. But by this we know that we love the children of God when by this we know by this we know that we love the children of God when we love God and keep his commandments. Verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. We can go here. Absolutely. It's a great precept to go to. But if a Christian really wants to be a demon, which they got a lot of demons on them, let's be real about it. They just gonna go right back here. Well, see, the only two commandments that we gotta keep is to love the Lord thy God with all our soul, all our heart, and all our mind. And good old Jesus Christ, I'm gonna give my money to my pastor, little d who, right? So again, I pose the question: how do we do this? How do we show that we love the Most High God with all our heart, all our soul, and all our mind? Anybody got any other precepts of where we might go? Because we about to dive right into it. Give you a quick dirty 30, right? I don't got a cool 30-second screen, but I got a timer though. Shalom, shalom, family, shalom. Playing upon tables, shalom. All right. No one got an answer. It's all good. Because guess what? The Most High got the answers. He gave it to us. We're going to answer it. So we're going to see how we love the Most High God with all our heart, all our mind, and all our soul. Right? This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, and we're going to start at verse 1. Now, these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahweh your power commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whether you go to possess it. What's the context? Statutes, commandments, and judgments. Law, statutes, and commandments, right? Verse 2, that thou mightest fear Yahweh thy power to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with thee, and that ye may increase mightily, as Yahweh, power of thy fathers, hath promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey. Verse 4, which is the Shemaim. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our power is one Yahweh, or Shemai, Yasharallah, Yahweh, Elanai, Nawa, Yahweh Echad, right? Verse 5, and thou shalt love Yahweh thy power with all thine heart and with all thy soul and with all thy might. Now wait, that sounds eerily familiar. Let's go back to Matthew. What do we read in Matthew? And Yahweh said unto them, thou shalt love it's a lot. I got tongue tied. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. And what do we just read in the law? Deuteronomy 6 and 5. Thou shalt love Yahweh thy power with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy might. And just a quick plug-in. Make sure support the troops. Cash App. As well as Super Chat if it's on your heart. Cash App if it's on your heart. Hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We're also on Spotify, right? But exactly, Carl Robinson. Keeping his commandments. That's how you show the Most High that you love him with all your heart, all your soul, and all your might, right? Now, quick question for the chat. When it says to love to love Yahweh thy power with all thine heart here in Deuteronomy, what's your heart? This is for the whole chat. What is the Hebrew word for heart, and what does it mean? Okay, La'ab, your mind. There we go. All praises. So I'm going to show y'all something real quick, right? This is just for those who don't know. We're gonna view it, right? Your heart, your la'ab, right? Let's see what this Hebrew word means. Shalom, Daphne Davis. Shalom, fam. Shalom. So this is your la'ab, right? Let's see how it's used. Inner man, mind, will, heart, soul, understanding. Inner part, miss of things. Soul, heart of man. Mind, knowledge, thinking, reflection, memory. Inclination, resolution, determination, conscience, heart or moral character. Pay attention to this. A seat of appetites, a seat of emotions and passions, a seat of courage, right? Now, let's go back to Matthew. Now, of course, we know this is going to be rendered from what language? The Greek. Let's see what this word for heart is. Just for fun, right? For giggles. Heart, cardia. This word says the heart, the organ of the animal body. Okay. Denotes center of physical and spiritual life, the vigor and sense of physical life, the center and seat of spiritual life, the soul or mind, as it is the foundation and seat of thoughts, passions, desires, appetites, affections, purposes, endeavors of understanding, the faculty and seat of intelligence of the soul, as so far as affected and stirred in a bad or good, in a bad way or good, or of the soul as of the seat of sensibilities, affections, emotions, desires, appetites, and passions. So granted, it's not the same Hebrew word. However, it's definitely talking about the same thing. You don't have to go that in depth, but just so that way you can, go further in depth with it. The same concept for what we have in Hebrew as heart is essentially being used the same way in Matthew in the Greek, right? So let's go back. All right. So that's the first greatest commandment. And just to make sure that y'all paying attention, chat, how do you love Yahweh, our power, God of our fathers? How do we love him with all our heart, all our mind, and all our soul? I needs to make sure that we paying attention. Nobody knows. I know that we was sitting up in here, man. I know that we was sitting in here. Come on, chat. Y'all the greatest chat in history, man. I know y'all know. I know we was paying attention. I know we was. Somebody got to tell me that they was paying attention on how we show the Most High God. There we go. There we go. Playing upon tables, keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. There we go. All praises to the Most High. See, we got to Deuteronomy 19 and 9. Deuteronomy 19 and 9. Let's see. I feel like he right. I feel like he right. We're gonna find out though. We're gonna find out. What's your let me see. There we go. That's right. Deuteronomy 19 and 9. If thou shalt keep these commandments to do them, which I command thee this day, to love Yahweh thy power and to walk ever in his ways, then shalt thou add these cities more for thee besides these three. All right. I'll accept that answer because it is a great answer of the law. There we go. All praises. All praise to the Most High. Shalom, Tony of Judah. Shalom. All praises. So we paying attention. All right. All praises. Now let's move forward. Because we should all know the second greatest commandment. And we all know that the Christian's gonna say, let's love everybody, right? Let's read it. Verse 39. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Now, we all know how Christians gonna use it. They're gonna tell you to love the creepy pedophile down the street, the grapist, around the corner that sits across from the schools, the white supremacists around the corner, the small hats. They just want us to love the small hats. We ain't loving the small hats, right? We can't do it. We can't do it. The big forehead people, that runs the 7-Elevens and the gas stations, and of course, you got the Ishmaelite people, who be running the bodegas selling you a chopped cheese with all sorts of bacon and pork in it. You feel me? Let's see who else they said. The people who kind of look like us, but they call us a kata, which means, if I'm not mistaken, slave. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. They want us to love the how can I put it? The rice planters who be running, the beauty supply stores and whatnot. They want us to love them, right? They want us to love everybody but each other. But that's what they say that we should love as our neighbors. Everybody else but each other. We know that. That's just what they put. But we should already know what this means to love thy neighbor as thyself, right? There you go. Tony already got it. Leviticus 19 and 17, right? Love thy neighbors of your own people. That's right. And guess what? We gonna get that. We gonna get that. And we gonna read it in the NLT, right? This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and we're gonna start at verse 16. Do not spread slanderous gossip among your people. This is something that our people have a heavy issue with. There's so many problems that arise just from either talking about a situation you know nothing about, spreading lies, spreading rumors, because we all know how it ends up. Either someone's getting killed, put in jail, put in harm's way, or just put inside of drama that is unnecessary, right? And we see drama and gossip being spread everywhere that we go. It'd be on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at your daily job, right? All the ladies like to get together on a Sunday brunch, have them some mimosas, kiki and ha, spread gossip of, Tammy running around in town with whoever, and then when they leave, they talk about each other behind their back, right? And then men do the same thing, right? Men be spreading that gossip as well, getting people caught up in things that they don't need to be caught up in, right? And none of it is justified. If we stop spreading slanderous gossip as a whole, there'd be a lot of lives saved. There'd be a lot of people not incarcerated for the most part. It'd be a whole lot more peaceful, right? The so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native men, we the first ones to mind our own business. But at the same time, we also the first people to spread other people's business, whether it be factual or fictional. And it's something that we got to stop as a people, right? Because that's not loving your neighbor as yourself. That's hating your neighbor as your enemy, right? Moving on. Do not stand idly by when your neighbor's life is threatened. I am Yahweh. Now I know that we done all seen this plenty of times. We have all seen plenty of videos where someone's recording and it's our people in the middle of a fight, getting jumped, getting beat up by the police, getting beat up by someone of another nation, right? Grown white men, grown Edomites, coming up against the women of our people, and none of the men around that situation step in. One of the few times that I've ever seen that, I don't know if anybody remembers this. It was a video a couple of years ago. This sister parked her car, and this short, frumpy, dwarf hobbit looking Edomite try to, get all up in her face, start yelling at her. Her daughter's right there in the car. And this powerful brother, I think this was in Florida, this powerful brother walking up in a straw hat, for those who know, in a straw hat. He came up in a straw hat, right? And he stepped in between the sister and this man. And he said, I don't care what you got going on. That is a woman. That is a female. You get out of her face. He tried to get buck with him. And the brother was not playing. He pulled out the blicky on him and held it at his side. And guess what? Old Frodo Baggins, he tried to straighten up a little bit. He even tried to do some weak kind of a hit. And then dude slapped him. Now, I'm not saying go straight to violence, but do something to intervene. Don't just stand there and let someone else, especially someone of another nation, come up against your own people. We are not to do that, man. And again, I'm not saying to put yourself in harm's way, but for what the situation warrants, do what you can to diffuse and protect your people, because we are all that we got. Sincerely, we are all that we have. Ain't nobody else finna do it. Of course, the Most High is gonna do it, but we still need to learn to protect each other, man. So we are not to stand idly by when our neighbor's life is threatened. That is a commandment of the Most High God. And I guarantee we would love each other more if we just 16. There's so much love that will go around through our communities if we just kept this one commandment as a whole, right? Verse 17. Do not nurse hatred in your heart for any of your relatives. Don't hold a grudge. Our people are quick to hold grudges and take it out on the wrong people, or hold on to a frivolous grudge for no reason because they feel some type of way. You gotta let stuff go, man. And I tell brothers on the street all the time, whether they come up in our face or get up in the face of each other, and we try to diffuse it, and they getting all heated. I'll tell it straight to them. Look, I see you quick to get up in my face, or whatever the situation is. You mad? That's cool. I see that. You gonna fight a cop? You gonna bend the corner on a cop? You gonna spray up a police station? No, they just stand there quiet. You gonna go up against the people who benefit from your rape, robbery, murder, and slavery? No, they not. So then why you gonna do it to your own people? And they stand there stuck on stupid and then leave. Our people gotta let stuff go, man. Because if we can't forgive each other, how do we expect to be forgiven by the Most High? Having that grudge and that hatred in your heart is the same as you being a murderer. You just a step away from actually committing the action, but you just holding it in your mind, your la'ab, your heart, man. Got to let it go. And if you can't let it go, learn how to actually direct it towards the people who really hurt you. Granted, yeah, we hurt each other bad. We did, and we still do. But we quick to forgive a whole nother nation of people, but we extremely slow to forgive each other. But we got to do it, right? And this is how you do it. Confront people directly so you will not be held guilty of their sin. If you got a problem with somebody, just talk about it, man. You're like, look, I feel offended. You did X, Y, Z. I forgive you. I apologize, man. I apologize, sis. Let's squash it. It's one thing to just act cordial. It's a whole thing. It's a completely different thing to actually forgive someone and also to apologize to someone. Completely different. Just being cordial and around without saying nothing, that's a grudge. You still holding on to something. Just let it go. It's okay. Just let it go. You let go of that cop who threw you on the ground and cuffed you, did an illegal search, embarrassed you in front of your mom, your kids, your wife, right? You'll do that quickly. You'll forget about that quickly. But you can't do the same for your own people. And that's one of the issues our people have, man. And it's a major issue, right? Moving forward, verse 18. Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against a fellow Israelite. This is why I wanted the NLT. Because in the KJV, it doesn't render it as fellow Israelite, right? But it says fellow Israelite right here in the NLT. Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against a fellow Israelite, but do what? But love your neighbor as yourself. I am Yahweh. So it's already qualified that your neighbor is someone who among your people slanderous gossip is spread, who in your neighbor is someone whose life may be threatened and you're not to stand idly by. Your neighbor who's a fellow Israelite means they're your relative and you're not supposed to nurse hatred in your heart for your relatives. You're supposed to confront them directly. You can't seek revenge or bear a grudge against them because your neighbor is an Israelite just like yourself, and you are to love your neighbor as yourself. And you know what the best thing about this is? The absolute best thing about this, that this is the quote unquote 2 greatest commandments. And again, they say that you only have to keep the 2. But here's the kicker. Chat. The first greatest commandment, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and all thy soul, and all thy mind. Right? So again, we getting interactive. We doing interactions right now. So chat. How do we show that we love the Most High God with all our heart, all our mind, and all our soul? How do we do that? Now I know somebody knowing this, chat. Come on, y'all. I know y'all know. Oh, come on, chat. It's all good. It's all good. But how do we do this? By keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. That's how we show that we love the Most High God with all our heart, all our mind, and all our soul. Now, here's the thing. Keeping the whole law is how we show that we love the Most High God. And what did we just read? Leviticus 19, 16 through 18. That's part of the laws that we have to keep in order to show that we love the Most High God. And in that law, it tells us to love our neighbor as ourselves. So in order to please the Most High, we have to love our neighbor as ourselves. We can't spread slanderous gossip among our people. We can't hate our people. We can't hold a grudge against our people. We got to deal with stuff directly, right? So if you want to love the Most High, you got to keep the law. And in keeping the law, you love your neighbor as yourself. It's cyclical. You can't do one without the other. You have to do both. Because if you're not keeping the law, you know what you're doing, which, it can be a variant different things, but you're going to end up having that hatred towards your own people. You're going to covet after thy neighbor. You going to be out there trying to mess with your neighbor's wife. Or even vice versa. You can be married to a man and you're going to go commit adultery on that man. You're going to steal from your people. You're going to fight your people. You're going to let your people die in front of you and stand there with a phone and record it. You're going to watch two of your people fight, record it, and laugh about it. You're going to laugh at the downfall of your people. You're going to let your people fall. And in doing so, you hate, and that's hatred towards your own people. So if you hate your people, you hate the Most High. There is no one without the other. You need both. Because in showing that you love the Most High God, you show that you love your people. And if you love your people, you're going to love the Most High God. You see how that works? You can't do one without the other. No if, no ands, and no buts about it, right? So again, don't ever let no silly Christian tell you that, oh, those are the only 2 commandments you got to keep, when in just these 4 verses right here, in these 4 verses, Yahweh Shai is telling you to keep the law, statutes, and commandments in its entirety. Is if you don't love the Most High God, and you don't love your neighbor as yourself. God, we all do, King. We all do. We all, sometimes it's hard to forgive family because it's such a betrayal. It truly is. It is such a betrayal. But we got to pray that we're strong enough to do it. And you got to do it, man. It's hard, but it's not impossible. Matter of fact, I got you. I got you, Malak. Watch this. Watch this. I know it's hard to do. Seems impossible, right? But you got to remember one thing. This is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ which strengthen me. So I know it's hard. It can be outright difficult. Seems impossible. But you can do all things through Mashiach, who strengthens you. No matter who it is, what the betrayal was, again, we got to do it. If we want to be forgiven for what we did, when we were ignorant of the truth and in the truth, if we want to be forgiven, we got to do it. And it's not impossible because we can do all things through whom Mashiach, which strengthens us. Khan, all praises to the Most High. All praises, right? But with that, like I said, it was going to be a short lesson. Make sure to check out, SICARRI Dallas on IG, TikTok, Spotify. Again, Cash App or Super Chat if it's on your heart, right? Especially on that IG and TikTok, check it out. We uploading some major footage from this past weekend. It was a beautiful moment with an elder sister, and it's just outright powerful. And I ain't gonna lie, hey man, look, the elder sister, she's about to have a whole bunch of grown men crying. I'm gonna let you know that right now. She's about to have a whole bunch of grown men crying, and it was such a powerful and beautiful moment that we had on that Saturday when we talked to that sister. And I tell you what, a lot of the stuff that you see, on YouTube for camp videos and whatnot, I said it once, I said it again. The best moments at camp are never really caught on film. This was one of those rare moments that was actually captured, and there was no hindrance, so that way you can actually view the entirety of what happened, right? All praises to the Most High. But with that, I want to give Call Halal, Abanal Yahweh, Bahashema Mashiach Malak Yahweh Shai, Shalom, family.